Hiya folks, I'm Grim and welcome to Grim Grooves. Today we'll be listening to Ado's Odo, or Odori, which means dance in Japanese I believe, but I cannot wait to check this out. I mean, Ado music is just always so good and I'm always blown away by them, no matter what it is. But make sure you hit the like button and subscribe because I got so much more from Ado and other artists to check out on my channel. And also I've got plenty of Ado songs on my Patreon. I just did another one, Rule, over on my Patreon today. So if you'd like to check that out, you can check out my Patreon down in the description. But without further ado, let's check out Odo by Ado. This has so many different feelings to it. Like, it starts off with the horns and everything, and it feels very jazzy, very funky. And then now we have this, like, this interesting little string melody we just had, and on top of that we got this really interesting bouncing kind of percussion beat. That was such an interesting melody, like string melody in the chorus there, just fantastic, almost like Middle Eastern or something like that, maybe Indian, I'm not exactly sure, but somewhere in that vein is where that kind of string melody seemed like came from. And then we still got that bouncing synth melody and then another synth melody on top of that, which was just fantastic. And Ado's vocals here are just fantastic too. Like, she's not going too crazy in the higher range or the lower range necessarily yet. Like, we haven't got any crazy screams out of her, but it's still really solid, like really consistent in this. Like, this is one of the rare ones so far where she's been fairly consistent with her style of singing throughout the song so far. But I would not be surprised if that changes. Ooh, and that was a bit of a scream. There are just so many interesting elements to this song, like the really kind of crunchy, interesting synth melodies we got coming in here every once in a while. It's so surprising. Like, it doesn't feel like most Ado songs that I've heard. A lot of them don't really have really heavy focus on the kind of electronic bouncing kind of trance music like this, but it's working really well for this track. Like, just excellent behind Ado's vocals, and then bring in the horns, bring in the guitar every once in a while. Like, it adds a lot of variety to this song. Oh, damn. It's interesting to use a kind of kind of synth percussion like this as the melody with like the other synth, little bit of synth melody around it, but it's very industrial sounding. It's very interesting. Like, again, unlike other songs I've heard from Ado at this point, it's just really unique. Ooh. Damn. That last part had more of like a South American vibe to it, it felt like, but really, really solid. Like, those vocalizations were so good. Like, just saying whoa over and over again in different ways, and just subtle vocalizations. At one point there, we even got like Ado's voice kind of modulated with auto-tune as she kind of belted out a crazy like yell of some kind. But it was really cool. Like, there's just so much variety to this, even though her vocal style was fairly consistent. I mean, Ado, like, a lot of the time, Ado music is just so varied. There's so many different, like, peaks and valleys to the way she sings. Sometimes she'll just, like, go crazy and just do a crazy-ass scream every once in a while. And it just sounds incredible with her vocal fry and the style of her voice. But this one was fairly consistent in terms of the way she sang. There was a couple of yells there near the end, but overall, the music was the thing that was a lot more varied with this one. Like, the themes kept changing, the fields of the music kept changing. I mean, the types of tempo kept changing. Like, we didn't get a really consistent kind of melody throughout most of this song, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, the kind of guitar melody we did get in the chorus was really solid, and it was repeated a few times, but that's one of the few kind of repeating melodies throughout this, and it came back very briefly at the end there too, I think. Like, but it was really solid overall. Like, just a really solid song that just kept hitting and kept growing and kept being more diverse every time. And also, I didn't really talk about this video, but it's a really solid like recapturing of or feeling of like 90s anime, like definitely old school anime feel to this, and the art style is fantastic. It would be cool if there was more to it, but it was still really cool, like just a crazy fighter and stuff like that. Interesting goggles design, everything like that. Very like Fooly Cooly or something like that. Very cool, but incredibly well done video, and like great song. Again, I wouldn't say it's my favorite Ado song. There's a lot of greater ones for me, like Backlight I've been listening to a lot, or Blacklight, I can't remember, but that's probably one of my favorites right now. But Ado has a lot of great songs. I still haven't heard most of them, but this is still a really solid song. Again, fantastic beats in it, and Ado's vocals are always just on point. Like, it's really cool. But anyways, thanks for hanging out watching my reaction. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and until next time, later days folks.